I think you already know that if you want to improve your English speaking skills, you need to practice speaking, right? You need to actually speak out loud. Memorizing vocabulary lists will never make you fluent. Completing grammar exercises will never make you fluent. Even watching hours of English videos will never make you fluent. You have to open your mouth and speak. But here's the problem. You've been speaking for years, and you're still not fluent. You can read English, you can understand English, but when it's time to talk, the words won't come out smoothly. So what's missing? Well, there's a practice system that transforms hesitant learners into confident speakers in just weeks. No expensive classes required. No native speaking friends required. This system can revolutionize every aspect of your spoken English, your fluency, your confidence, your ability to think directly in English, and most importantly, your ability to speak without translating in your head. So what is this system? Well, here's what it is. Learning to speak English through strategic production training. When I say production training, I'm not talking about reading dialogues from a textbook or answering basic questions in an app. I'm talking about something much more powerful than that. The first technique is called the mirror method, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You stand in front of a mirror and talk to yourself for 3 to 5 minutes straight. No stopping, no editing, no restarting. You just keep talking about anything, your day, your opinion on social media, what you see in your room. It doesn't matter. The topic isn't important. What matters is that you never stop speaking. When you pause, you fill the silence with or well or so, but you never let the silence win. Your mouth keeps moving. Why does this work? Because your brain needs to practice the physical act of speaking. Speaking isn't just about knowing words, it's about activating muscles, coordinating your breathing, and building neural pathways that let you retrieve language automatically. When you watch yourself in the mirror, you develop self-awareness. You see your facial expressions. You notice your body language. You become comfortable with the act of being watched, which destroys that fear of speaking in front of others. Think of it like learning to swim in shallow water before diving into the ocean. You need a safe space to make mistakes without judgment. The mirror becomes your first audience. You learn to hold eye contact. You practice using gestures naturally. You build speaking stamina. Here's the key insight. Fluency isn't about speaking perfectly. It's about speaking continuously. Your goal isn't 0 mistakes. Your goal is 0 silence. The second technique is called active shadowing, but this isn't the kind of shadowing you might have tried before. This isn't about repeating words like a parrot to fix your pronunciation. This is something different. You're going to play audio of a native speaker, a podcast, a YouTube video, an audiobook, and you're going to speak simultaneously with them, not after them, with them, at the exact same time. You're matching their rhythm, their intonation, their emotion, their speed, everything. Why does this work? Because native speakers don't just use words to communicate. They use prosody, the music of language. The way words rise and fall, speed up and slow down, that's where meaning lives. When you shadow actively, you force your brain to process and produce language at natural speed. No more translating in your head, no more pausing to construct sentences. You're training your brain to think directly in English rhythm. Here's how you do it. Choose a 30-second audio clip at your level. Listen once for understanding, then play it again and speak along in real time. Don't pause to think, don't stop if you stumble, just match their pace. Repeat that same segment 3 to 5 times until it feels smooth. Record yourself and compare the rhythm. Think of it like singing karaoke. You're not inventing the words, you're learning the melody. Eventually, that rhythm becomes automatic, and you can apply the same flow to your own thoughts. Here's the truth. Native speakers don't think in words, they think in rhythm. Master the rhythm and the words will follow.
The third technique is called the 30-second challenge, and it's designed to put you under pressure. Here's how it works. You give yourself a random topic, technology, childhood, travel, food, anything, and you speak about it for exactly 30 seconds with zero preparation. No planning, no notes, no time to think. You just start talking and keep going until the timer hits zero. Why does this work? Because real conversations don't give you time to rehearse. Someone asks you a question and you have to answer immediately. This technique simulates that real-world pressure. It builds cognitive flexibility, the ability to think and speak at the same time. You're training your brain to retrieve words automatically, organize thoughts on the fly, and keep moving forward even when you don't know exactly what you're going to say next. Here's the process. Use a random topic generator app or write topics on paper slips. Pick one, hit record on your phone, speak for 30 seconds straight. Then listen back and identify your hesitations, your awkward phrasing, the moments where you got stuck. Now redo that same topic and try to improve the flow. Do 5 to 10 topics per session. Think of it like practicing free throws in basketball. The game won't pause for you to aim perfectly. You need to train your muscle memory so your body acts automatically. Speaking works the same way. Your brain needs to retrieve words without conscious effort. Here's the key. The fastest way to eliminate is to practice starting sentences before you know how they'll end. Confidence comes from reps, not perfection. The fifth technique is called the playback loop, and it's your personal coach. Here's what you do. You record yourself speaking for 1 to 2 minutes about anything. Describe your morning, explain a hobby, talk about your weekend plans. Then you listen back critically, not to judge yourself, not to feel embarrassed, just to observe. You identify 3 specific things to improve. Maybe your pronunciation of certain words, maybe your grammar, maybe you speak too fast or use too many filler words. Then you record the exact same content again, focusing only on those 3 improvements. That's one loop. Why does this work? Because you can't fix what you can't hear. Most learners never develop self-monitoring skills because they never review their own output. When you speak and move on, your brain doesn't activate its error detection system. But when you record and play back, you create objective feedback. You hear yourself the way others hear you. Research shows that students who self-assess improve 40% faster than those who only receive external feedback. Think about professional athletes. They watch game footage to spot weaknesses. You wouldn't expect a basketball player to improve without reviewing their shots, right? Your speech needs the same review process. Recording is your instant replay. It shows you exactly where you stumbled, where you hesitated, where you lost clarity. Here's the truth. The difference between amateurs and experts isn't talent, it's feedback loops. Record, review, repeat. That's how you get better. The fifth technique is called the input-output sprint, and it's your fastest way to lock new language into your brain. Here's the system. You watch a 3 to 5 minute educational video or read a short article. Then you close it immediately. No notes, no reviewing, and you start speaking. You record yourself explaining what you just learned for 2 to 3 minutes. You try to use the specific vocabulary and phrases from the content. You describe the main idea, give your opinion, mention one interesting detail. You don't worry about perfect accuracy. You just focus on using the new language right now, in this moment. Why does this work? Because your brain forgets 70% of new information within 24 hours unless you actively use it. When you consume content passively and move on, it stays in short-term storage and disappears. But when you immediately speak about it, you force retrieval. You create strong memory associations. You move that knowledge from temporary to permanent. This is exactly how children learn. They hear a word and immediately try using it in conversation. Cognitive science calls this retrieval practice, and it's the most effective learning strategy that exists. Use it now or lose it forever. Your brain has two storage systems, short-term for passive reading, long-term for active use. Speaking is what moves knowledge from one to the other.